Ksante, Kobe, I'm sorry.
I just added that one. They didn't get the...
They're not listening to rules. They're breaking the rules.
Right.
Rule breakers on the side of Dignitas. Ksante locked in first.
Surprise, surprise. Ksante, the flex here, very, very powerful for Dignitas. You know, there was actually a decent amount of hype for Dignitas coming into this split. Bringing in Rich, trading out for Ama, and just with the success that they started to have at the end of the split when they added Tomo, they started looking better. But obviously, opening game, really rough for them.
Well, I'd also argue, in a lot of situations, Ksante does seem like a flex. I would say on this Dignitas team, there's not much of a chance of it.
You don't see Jensen?
Remember back during the Ruination season when Viego's solo lane was just overpowered as all hell and everybody had to play it and Jensen just could not make it click? I feel like Jensen's much more about traditional picks in the mid lane and something like Ksante.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to happen, man.
The traditional Jensen, traditional mid laner. Let's see what he's going to play into the Annie if he will decide to take that Ksante away. The Maokai, all right, that is a very solid front line, very solid team fight being set up here for Dignitas. Even though I do think that Jinx, if you're transporting from MSI meta, Jinx got hit much harder than Aphelios got hit.
Yeah.
And so many more teams now on current patch do prefer the Aphelios. I'm definitely included in that. We'll see how it goes here because Cloud9 also have the Lulu here with Yuumi and Milio both banned. That is so much scaling enchanter extra DPS for you.
So going by expectation with where the roles would end up, Ksante top, Maokai jungle, Lulu support, and then Annie mid, we actually only have 80 carries matching roles in the first half of the draft. So these second phase bans are not going to be as focused towards the smaller role pool that they normally are.
Yeah, and whenever you do pick that, one of these enchanters that's vulnerable to lane kills, usually we'll see the Blitzcrank ban, Cloud9 protecting against that, protecting Zven. They've joked about it for a long time, but any enchanter meta is a Zven meta ever since he switched over to the support role and doesn't want to have to deal with dodging Blitzcrank hooks. There's just too much playmaking potential there, too much setup possibilities.
Dude, I had a promo shoot one time for some content with Zven, and I called him my favorite Yuumi, and he just looked at me like I had personally offended him. So he's known for those enchanters, though, and they're going to ban out a second engaged champion with the Nautilus alongside the Blitzcrank. Dignitas targeting that jungle pool twice already, once with the Vi in the first half, now with the Wukong here in the second. Do they want to aim at another jungler, or are they happy with the remaining matchups? The last ban will be the Kindred. I like this going up against Blaber. Trinity Force Kindred is a menace, and Blaber's exactly the type of guy to play it.
Yeah, Cloud9 are the team to do it too, with so many lanes that they can set up to be early pushers to allow Blaber to really go for a lot of invades, be super aggressive with that champion. So they ban out one of them. The tough thing with Blaber is, though, he has an insanely deep champion pool.
Yeah.
This man grinds constantly. This is not going to be anything new. The Kha'Zix here is brought back. There's some more options now on Kha'Zix with the Ghost Blade, with the Dust Blade. So we'll see which variation he goes for. You can still go for the Conquer style. I very much doubt that we'll see the Conquer style here, even though Dignitas are showing double front line.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and flaunt it. I got the prediction correct. It was not a mid lane Ksante. Jensen does want something more traditional. He will lock the Ahri in against the Annie. And the final pick of the draft here for Dignitas, a little bit of protection in the bottom lane, along with some of that potential for the pick or the engage in the Thresh. Whenever I see Jinx, I want to see some kind of support that can provide some layer of peel, some measure of protection, and hey, that's what Thresh is going to accomplish.
Yeah, Lantern's great for anyone who's isolated and is going to fall prey to that Kha'Zix. Get you right cozy next to the Thresh, so you're not isolated anymore, and that's primarily going to be Tomo. Meanwhile, since you get last pick, final pick here for top lane, Fudge goes with the Jax into the Ksante.
All right, let's do it. Fudge, constantly one of the guys who likes to show us some more impressive play up there in the top half of the map. The guys come in and become one of the premier top laners in the region, so I always like to see him more on these carry picks.
And one of the things I was talking about earlier, when Dig actually, they first signed Rich, I was hearing really positive things about him in isolated 1v1s and bullying people in scrims and having a lot of success there in scrims, at least at the very beginning. So we'll see how the early stages at least for the 1v1 start, but Dignitas definitely looking towards team fights, obviously, with this composition that they have here.
Where do you want to see junglers go early on in this one, specifically for Santorin? Because after Dignitas' rough game yesterday, I really think they need to get some momentum nice and early if they want to have any sort of a chance here against C9.
So I think that your Maokai job is to the Gore Drinker Conqueror version of it. First strike. Okay, yep. So he's going to go with the lethality build.
Well, let's do it. Dignitas versus C9, Game 1, Day 2, MasterCard opening week here in summer 2023. As Dignitas, let's see what we got here. Anything out of the ordinary? Cleanse on the Jinx, Ignite on Thresh. Other side, same thing. Cleanse there for the Aphelios, but the difference is the heal on the Lulu, taking a more defensive approach to things. All of our solo laners have their teleports, of course. Remember that on the new patch, the new era of mid-season update League of Legends, we do have those teleports getting unleashed much more quickly. 10 minutes instead of 14 means oftentimes we're going to have second dragon fights or similar objective scuffles, getting top laners involved more quickly.
I propose that we make it even more quick and we keep the timer running right now. So it's 10 minutes from when the game starts. Pauses don't detract from that time.
Oh, yeah.
I made it covers
you have
up.
grandpa size.
Yeah, I'm actually all the way as big as I could make it so that I have perfect map awareness. And it's funny looking, but it actually worked. It helped.
Wait, what if the devs added an option that you could like click a button and it would make the minimap just be your second monitor instead? Would you use that?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. Bigger is better, Flowers. I'm down.
All right. Well,
even bigger.
Hey, devs, if you're out there listening and you don't have anything better to do, which I highly doubt, how about a full screen second monitor minimap and we can call it the Mega Map? And
we can like partner with one of those widescreen curved manufacturers so that we can even get it on one of those. Get it circling around behind you.
This is sounding like an incredible business opportunity already, but down here in bottom lane, things are as they usually are at level 1 with these Jinx versus Aphelios lanes. Couple auto attacks traded back and forth, and that's about it. You can see potions being chugged by pretty much everybody. And yeah, I mean,
yeah, I saw melee drops as you were talking. I wasn't going to say anything, but you know, it's looking a little rough down there. It's going to be opposite side clears for junglers too, though. And I like this here. Santorin just going to do Maokai top towards bottom since he's got the Ksante. Ksante is always fine getting pushed in because you actually do have a pretty easy time keeping up your CS there, even under a decent amount of pressure. Plus, when you're towards your tower, you can often threaten setups with your Q3s. People have to be a little bit worried about you flashing on them, getting that knock-in if your jungler's around too. Even pre-6, but mostly post-6.
And I feel like I have seen that play more out of Fudge than anybody else, specifically in LCS. So I would hope
he's not going to get caught
as someone who's done it a lot, that he's aware of what Rich would be able to do with that. Jumps in for the counter-strike there, but he's not going to land the helicopter attack. Rich can just step back.
Oh, cannon in the dirt, my friend.
Unlucky. 6-0 on Jack's career. Has never lost while playing Jax.
Well, it's looking pretty good to me right now for him. Yeah, he forced Rich to miss that cannon minion. Even though he does get hit by a Q3 here, he got the minion wave in. He cancels his early recall, though. Just goes for the ward drop and has Blaber on top side, just to make sure Blaber will be able to get his coveted Scuttle Crab.
Very important.
They should be traded. Bottom side for Dignitas is helping Santorin get their bottom one, and Fudge goes to push in the remnants of this wave with the little bit of mana he has left.
Yeah, he's almost entirely but so is Rich, so he's not terribly worried about it. Obviously, Ksante does have the ability to cast spells from very low mana with the Intofo strikes only taking 15, but not enough to really threaten a Jax. As you can see, Santorin here in the bottom lane, hanging around, just clearing Krugs. It's not like there's much of an opportunity for him to gank Berserker or Zven right now. He will throw one of the saplings into the tri-brush as he makes his way forward here. Now, if Berserker and Zven step up, maybe there's a chance. Or maybe he just hangs out in the brushes.
Maybe hovering here.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit for the recall here for reset for Blaber too. And Rich did a good job quickly dealing with the pushed in minion wave. He matches the teleport there for Fudge, so both top laners right back out to it. And the Ksante, even though he getting pushed in a bit, does not lose out on tempo.
Well, one thing I'm noticing here about the difference in buys between those top laners, one bought a Ruby Crystal, the other bought a Sheen. Much more power there in the Sheen for Fudge, so I expect him to continue having a great time in that 1v1 as long as junglers don't get involved with it. Down in bottom lane, Tomo and Diamond still just chilling. A big story, I think, for Dignitas getting to start off here in Summer Split is having Tomo over Spawn, because Spawn had a really rough spring, and you know the state of the meta as well as anybody does. It has been very AD carry focused for a very long time. Made it hard for Dig to be able to really find wins there, and their AD carry was struggling. Maybe Tomo can have a better shot at it here, getting to start with the team from the very beginning. But right now, Berserker and Zven have control over the lane.
Yeah, Berserker and Zven have been doing a pretty good job here with the chunks they've been getting too. Something that Berserker was doing a couple seconds ago. You see him use his Infernum gun when he has a splash damage, splashing it off the range minions. Now they're gonna go for the dive off that soften up.
They jump in. Tomo's got 100 HP. Blaber flashes in to get the first blood. Final turret shot's gonna take him back as Diamond stays alive. Berserker and Zven both very low on HP. Got to be careful about this one.
But super worth it for them,
yeah,
because you're trading, even though you have to flash for it there for Blaber, double summoner spells down on Tomo, and Tomo doesn't get any of those minions with the built-up stacked minion wave that was pushed into the tower. So those small chunks we were talking about, Berserker getting onto Tomo, leaving their mark, softening him up, and allowing for that dive.
Oh, Fudge really going in here. I said Fudge, don't do it. I said Fudge, you know what he does. I said Fudge.
I mean, Fudge knew what he was doing. He wanted that kill, but Rich with the outplay there. Gets the ultimate off. He dodges away just out of distance, and the W goes onto the range minion under tower. Oof. Rich, these are the things we've been hearing about for scrims, where in the 1v1s, he's had some spectacular performances. He outplays Fudge, but Cloud9 still, they're very happy with this play because of the extra minions that do go to waste here. If the Jinx is not farming them, very, very, very much worth it for them. And of course, the summoner spells will mean that it is a vulnerability here. So Fudge, with this big chunk, he gets on him, pops his ultimate. He wants to go for the ultimate plus into the W with the extra damage, but Rich, he ults him over, then dashes further away, and Fudge, with the auto onto the minion. Yep.
Oh, he knows that one was an error. I'm glad he immediately just goes back to laughing at it like, oh, come on, I knew that was going to happen. Anyway, we already got the fight breaking out. EMENES here on the front, level 6, Annie being focused down, Diamond grabbing the kill. Dignitas get that one, but they lose Tomo in trade. It'll be a 1-for-1 with C9 having the better health and C9 getting themselves the Drake right after.
Yeah, everybody's laughing, but top lane, you know, that was a solo death. It's okay, the team's got it under control. They previously dove bottom. They're going to get the objective still stacking, and it's looking quite good. 65 to 47 CS down on bottom side too, with Tomo currently in base and the minion wave getting pushed up to tower. You have to think Berserker probably going to be able to get a turret plate on bottom as Jensen gets a turret plate in mid. Yeah, Berserker with the white gun. It's going to be 2 here.
That white gun, so good. Crescendum is excellent at knocking down plates incredibly fast. Remember, for those of you who might not know the maximization, the attack speed is going to go up the closer you are to the turret because it has to bounce back to Aphelios. So whenever Berserker hugs that turret, stands real close, makes it incredibly easy to knock those plates down. Blaber maybe looking for another angle down here. Right now, just checks through the red, seeing what might be up. Pathing back down towards this bottom lane tier 1 turret, has the ultimate available. Berserker has Moonlight Vigil as well. Zven still no wild growth. That's something to keep in mind. Diamond and Tomo going to be the focus here. Moonlight Vigil misses. Tomo eating a lot of damage already. He gets the kill on Zven. Dignitas punishes an overforced Cloud9 and comes out 1-for-0.
It's interesting because I was looking at the mini-map the whole time, and EMENES was walking down, but he was still up by red buff when they forced that dive. So good outplay here from Dig, but Cloud9, they didn't wait around for their mid laner who was already roaming down. They paid the price. How about try number 2?
Well, the thing is, there's no ultimate here on the Annie. Blaber jumps in. Diamond wanted to make the play to cast the death sentence on Blaber to get him. He will ultimately take him down in a 1-for-1 trade, but it's 2-for-1 overall with Tomo also dying. Jensen needs to come in here and try to clean somebody up. Berserker and EMENES, both at about half HP. EMENES nearly has Tibbers ready to go. Keep your eyes on that cooldown on the right side of the screen. Jensen still thinking about if he wants this or not. Berserker does not have a lot of mana to work with. Super Mega Death Rocket, but EMENES with the stun to disengage.
Yeah, I was close. If the charm and the Super Mega Death Rocket hit there, maybe pops ult, goes for the burst damage, even with the extra person around. But this game's getting a little wildflowers. Okay,
yeah, 9 kills, 9 minutes.
Getting a little messy here. Dignitas keeping it very, very competitive versus Cloud9 with all the scrappiness. And bottom lane were able to fight their way out of round 1 of it. And then the second part, they still get another counter kill onto the Kha'Zix. Here's a look at the original one. So even though the ultimate from Berserker missing was a lot of damage, but Zven right under tower, pretty easy pickings for them. And Blaber just calls it out, backs out, doesn't want to take any tower shots. But then EMENES arrives, and the mini-map was kind of the key thing to look at there.
Blaber prowling around top side now after having those 2 ganks in bottom lane. Wanted to see what he might be able to affect, but Rich's ward means that the bug is found out. Duskblade of Drakthar on him. Remember, this synergizes really well with Kha'Zix now because it's going to give you that extra damage, the execution on your abilities, which Kha'Zix already loves, plus the ability to become untargetable after assisting in a takedown is huge for getting in, getting a kill, and disengaging. Tomo tagged with a Moonlight Vigil. As soon as the stun hits, Tomo has to pop the cleanse to get away.
Yeah, and you know, Ghostblade got originally turbo buffed, but they quickly tapped it right back down and then rebuffed up Drakthar at the same time. So they did that same thing where they're like, you know what? Everybody's spamming Ghostblade. It is super OP. And so they nerfed that one, but then they buffed this back up to give you something in return. And so a lot of those assassins are just swapping between the two, going everybody more towards the Duskblade now. If you can make use of, again, key part is it is ability damage. Pretty much everybody's happy with untargetability, but...
Yeah, ability damage favors certain champions more than others, but Kha'Zix with those Qs, very, very scary stuff. Blaber's in a great spot right now, 3-2-1, 100% kill participation on his team. Nobody else is above 2. Turns out this guy might just be the driver for early action on the Cloud9
I mean, he's been driving down towards bottom lane a lot. And if they're forcing tower dives, somebody's going to die. Sometimes it's him. Actually, a lot of the times it's him, but they're also getting a lot of kills there too. So that is all of the action except for the 1v1 on top side, where we saw Fudge also with a taste for tower dives. So Cloud9 liking their tower dives, but not being as successful as they would want with them.
Well, we've got a Drake spawning in 30 seconds. Remember, the Cloud9 got the first one. Teleports are not available for anybody on the map except for EMENES. Rich actually just now using his to get back into the top lane. So if this is an on-spawn Drake, it means we're only going to have the guys who walk down to it part of the fight. You can see Dignitas clearing out some vision right now, looking to make something happen here. As all out, it's time for Rich to go all in. Fudge jumping back into the wave, seeing if there might be some outplay potential. Q3, one more auto attack gets it done, and Rich gets his second solo kill of the game. Blaber takes out Jensen back in the mid lane, and now Santorin has to head for the hills. And the hills look a lot like Rich. He's coming to back his buddy up, but it might be a problem. EMENES gets the kill on Santorin, and now Rich has to flash away just to survive. He won't even do it as Blaber picks up another, and the 2v2 in bottom lane ain't gonna stop either. Diamond tries to get out. Berserker doesn't have the range to follow him up any further. Zven using the wild growth on himself means that there's no chance for Dignitas to get anything else back. It's a 7-6 game now with a 2K lead for C9.
Yeah, Blaber and top lane both keeping this game bloody. I feel kind of bad for Rich because he had a really, really strong kind of tree of decision making there. He was on Iceborne Spike to just the components at the time of the 1v1 there with Fudge. So he forces, after getting back with fully completed Iceborne, onto Fudge, and he hit that Q3 as the counter-strike stuns him. So the Q3 still got out, and he still got the knockback on it, and he gets the solo kill onto Fudge with really good choice of timing to take the 1v1 due to the item spike, but then also execution in it. It's just that then when Cloud9 start winning with their jungle mid through the mid lane and chasing up through the river, he cannot do anything. That's what I'm talking about, where he got stunned, but he still got his Q3 off. So as he's getting stunned, it does get the pullback onto Fudge. And you see the slow field on the ground. The Iceborne is completed. At that time, Fudge did not have his Divine completed, so that was that one. Then, meanwhile, it was the mid-side play where EMENES holds his stun until Blaber gets there, and then you get the big surprise, any stun into Kha'Zix, surprise from Brush with his Duskblade already complete. He does so much damage right now. He's able to get the untargetability off the kill on Santorin, and so Rich knows, shoot, gotta get out of there now, but he can't. And it's Blaber rolling this one through with the Kha'Zix. The snowball is working quite nicely. Double lethality items with the Umbral now complete too. The vision control will come.
EMENES looking for Diamond, drops the Tibbers. It doesn't have a stun with it, but plenty of damage still from that AoE dot. EMENES with one more hit will take him down. Picks up the kill on Diamond for his second of the game, as the tier 1 turret will now be the target. Plates have already fallen, which means this thing is not long for the Rift. With that destruction, it's nearly a 4,000 gold lead for C9, shrinking back down closer to 3K now with Jensen picking up that turret back in mid. Jensen's Ahri with the Everfrost now completed, has been struggling a little bit with the charms this game, so hopefully the Everfrost will help him set those up for more pick potential. Zven with a flash away there from the Nature's Grasp, does not want to give away a free kill to Santorin and Dignitas. Jensen also teleporting in, really committing for this. The Glitterlance fires off, and as soon as they get the TP answer back from C9, Dignitas wants no more.
All right, defensive teleport used here for the cover for EMENES means that top side is a 2v1. So while Rich has been faring quite well 1v1 versus Fudge, when Blaber enters the scene and you see the jungler is the same level as you as a top laner, you're definitely scared. Blaber with the 400 gold bounty on his head will be able to finish off that Rift Herald and get even richer. It is so nice now with the local gold being so high here for Rift Herald to get that isolated more money onto the jungler, and he is having so much fun right now with this big power spike.
So we've got this engage on EMENES, but it's only an engage from Diamond and Santorin.
Ooh.
Nobody that does damage is anywhere nearby, and that just means that now C9 can counterattack, pick up 2 for free. I know that they thought, sure, Jensen's nearby, he can roam up and help, but you gotta remember the enemy team has 5 guys too. You gotta wonder where they are.
Yeah, Berserker looking pretty smooth with it there, even sniped the ult at the end to get the trailing kill here. So now Cloud9 back on top again. Fudge joining with the rest of the squad as they have already gotten their kills down here. Just going to be the full reset. Berserker, though, that was quite smooth on the follow-up here. It looks like Cloud9 not going to sweat it too much. 4.7 now, 1,000 gold is the lead, still keeps on climbing in addition to the dragon stacking.
And it was only a few hundred up until about 12 or 13 minutes. It really was that fight that Dignitas tried to engage in the mid lane on EMENES. Jensen misses the charm, Blaber gets the counter kills. That whole sequence of events just turned everything into this massive explosion of momentum for C9, and Dignitas is now all aboard the struggle bus.
Yep, they're going to have a really big difficulty too stopping the continued plays from Cloud9. So one of the best things about Annie is you can always force. EMENES has done a really good job thus far, being there for the plays. A little vertical jump here from Santorin.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it is now at level 11 Annie with Flash and Proto Belt ready. So much mobility on the champ, plus the rank 2 for Tibbers. So that engage from Cloud9, you do not want to be within a screen here of any plus any champion, because there's so much damage on Cloud9. Everybody can follow up on him, and anyone who gets caught in that stun is going to be toast.
So, all right, Kobe, what's the plan here for Dignitas? Because right now it just seems like Cloud9 is running over the entire Rift. They're going to be up over 5,000 now with this turret falling in top lane, Berserker picking that up. Blaber is just completely unassailable in almost any situation unless it's 5v1 and he has no ultimate. What do you do here for Dig?
Well, they gotta just huddle and try and play defensive until Cloud9 make another tower dive int. That's
okay.
That's what we're looking for. Throw under tower, maybe that happens. Otherwise, you're just trying to sweep out your own jungle is your only hope of like catching maybe a Blaber face check or something like that. But you do need one of those things handed to you, because if you're in range of EMENES, look at that. He's so bold, he's gonna proto belt under your tower at you with 2 people there to see if Tomo will flinch.
He's just not concerned, man. He has no respect for the Jinx, and honestly, 1, 4, and 3, Tomo not particularly super threatening at this point in the game. There's no reason for him to. 45 seconds until the next Drake spawns. C9 is already at a 2-0 count in those, and I expect him to continue moving that forward.
Yeah, I'd say Dignitas, you gotta make the call, go for top tower instead of this dragon. You get completely blasted at this dragon fight, so maybe try and get some gold anywhere you can. Good call here from Cloud9, though. Of course, they're very well aware of the position that they are in with so much control, and so they send EMENES to the top side to stop that possible play.
And the reason that it's EMENES up there is because he has the teleport ready. You can see that cooldown in the top right there. Fudge is still just a little bit off of having that unleashed teleport cooldown. So they want to make sure that if Dignitas does try to commit everybody to this dragon fight, make some sort of a Hail Mary play, they can immediately respond with their own man across the map. But right now, nobody else is required. Blaber's so far ahead. Kha'Zix is so good at killing these things with Q Evolve that he can just take the dragon out by himself. You can see with our perfect spectator vision, nobody from Dignitas even wants to go into the same quadrant of the map as this thing. So no challenge there. C9 move on to Soul Point.
And that's simple self-preservation, Flowers, because it's far too dangerous to go anywhere near those Cloud9 members for Dignitas. So those basic instincts kicking in, you know, stay safe.
Yep.
And maybe,
always go with a buddy.
Maybe your opportunity will present itself.
Santorin going in for that opportunity right now. The Nature's Grasp fires out. They wanted to go for Fudge, but he can back away. Now EMENES shows up. He flashes forward, and he just kills Tomo underneath the turret in the middle of the rest of Dig.
He's got a stopwatch still, too. So that's why he's so bold there. Actually goes right back in. Still has his stopwatch on the Annie, even though he uses his flash to get that kill on the AD carry. Cloud9 still pushing, though, and with the W evolve here too from Blaber, he can also lend that extra support with the AoE.
Man, oh man. I like that Dignitas at least went for something there. They saw maybe there's an angle to catch him underneath the turret, like you were saying, but they just don't have the damage. They're too far behind.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the opportunities that you are looking for, though. So I agree with you. Like that they, took their shot there. Santorin trying to get him even further under the tower and hoping with the extra tower defense and damage they might be able to do something. And Santorin finds EMENES. He's got no flash. He's toast.
He should be down here. There's no world where he gets away. Where's the kill going to go? Rich picking up the shutdown. EMENES getting his second death this game.
Okay, can they get the top tower objective bounty shutdown then too? You love to try and get full value and actually get objective bounty shutdowns out of these plays, but they want more kills.
Blaber now being found by Santorin and Rich, but he can use the ulti to get back to his team. And now with Wild Growth and Fudge coming in from the side, they can re-engage. All out takes Fudge over the wall and brings Rich back to safety as Santorin and Diamond disengage off to the side. Fudge now finding himself alone still, but disengages back to his team. You've still got Blaber back here fighting. He's trying to chop down the tree, but Diamond puts him on a leash. Blaber, however, is absolutely running wild, and Berserker takes down Rich. Tomo and Jensen want to get away, but that bug is hungry. He goes in for the damage. He gets a double kill. The turret shot's going to kill him through the Dusk Blade. It's an absolute fiesta of a fight, but it's C9 partying hard when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's a bloody fiesta, Flowers, and I love it. Cloud9 will be able to get the Baron in the aftermath here. I love the vitality, they're playing the game with, and the bloodlust here, but it is a little bit too far. Dignitas, Cloud9 are just so fed right now, and they go on Blaber. He's got the spell shield, so he's able to get the Q into ultimate back over to his team. He chunks up, softens up two people, and Fudge sees the angle to try and go for it. But then Fudge, very deep here off the ultimate from Rich. They try and finish him off. You called it out. He was able to kite back to his team. But in the left side of your screen there that we weren't following on live, Blaber does finish off his kill on the Diamond and chase Santorin basically back to the fountain, only being at 200 HP, and then allows Blaber to come from behind the turret to make sure they can't escape. And even though he does go down to the tower, he gets one, and Berserker cleans the other one here with Jensen dying as well.
And as you said with Blaber, when he goes in, somebody dies. A lot of the time, it's him. And there, it was him again. But the prize is a fight where you get way more kills, and the rest of your team gets the Baron even without you. C9 now going to have that Baron for the next 2 minutes. Their soul spawns much faster than that, only a minute and a half away from now, as Blaber can get away over the wall.
Yeah, he's jungler higher level than everyone on the opponent team, Flowers. That in this day and age, that is a
mega
statement.
Yeah. If this was like season 6, I'd be like, yeah, what else is new? Sky's blue.
He's having some fun, though.
This is absolutely the Kha'Zix highlight game here for Blaber. Edge of Night, Umbral Glaive, Dusk Blade, Last Whisper also in the inventory for increased armor penetration against the tanky targets of Santorin and Rich. Teleport from EMENES down into the bottom lane to join up with Berserker and Zven. Apply some 3-man pressure here while Fudge splits back in mid and Blaber hovers between the two looking for opportunities.
Yeah, he's hunting down here. just passing through the vision, trying to keep the extra territory ready for Dragon spawn, because this will be the Dragon Soul. 29 seconds on the clock, and Cloud9 slowly making use of their Baron buff here while they wait for it.
Yeah, they just want to try to force down these tier 2s if they can. Blaber jumping over the wall, finds a lot of burst onto Jensen, but cannot kill him off. Jensen disengaging back as Rich has gone all out. He's ready to fight, but it's Tomo killed off by EMENES. Santorin trying to take Berserker with them, but the shields, the reinforcement, the peel coming up from Zven, it'll finally not be enough. But now Jensen's stunned up. He goes golden, but man, it's just a trophy for C9 now. Everybody on Dig is dead and only cost Berserker. C9 up 12,500 gold, 3 men left alive, 4 men left alive. I forgot about Fudge, who wasn't even down there. He's back in the mid lane. They don't even need the Drake. They can just push into the enemy base now, but recognizing that they likely can't end just yet, Blaber will be the one to fall back. He'll take the soul while everybody else takes the turrets.
Yeah, this game's not about Fudge. It's fine. You can forget about him every once in a while. Cloud9 still pumping. Oh my goodness. This is looking like our defending champions, Flowers. This truly is Cloud9 time. They're going for Berserker here, though. Dignitas, eyes on the prize. Rich started out. He died. Santorin tries to follow it up. Diamond tries to follow it up. In the end, they do get their kill. They got Berserker. Aphelios down. It is going to cost them everything, though.
It's a Pyrrhic victory. They got it done. Everything else was lost in the process. It's now a 13,000 gold deficit. Dignitas does not have any realistic chance to win the game any further, but I want to see what they might still be able to do here. I mean, damage dealt in the last team fight.
Wait, they forgot to put Fudge's damage.
Yeah, Fudge rolled a donut, but that's all right. The rest of the team, 10,000 between the 3 other carries there on the side of C9, as the combination of all 5 players on Dignitas, I'm not sure if it hit 5K or not, and that's just the difference in money, right? That fight starts with a 9,000 gold lead. It ends with a 12 or 13,000 gold lead. Yeah. It's a bit of a mess.
Yes, sir. All right, Cloud9, level 16 acquired for Blaber. Juicy evolves here for the bug. He has been the star of this entire game. It has been fun. Cloud9, though, the base is open in there. Look, oh, teleport behind for the flank.
Okay, they want to engage on C9 here. Rich is the man who's all alone, trying to use the unstoppable there. The Pathmaker, all out's going to take him through the wall, while on the backside of the fight, Blaber has gone in and found Tomo. Dignitas' plan has been completely routed, and Berserker's going to look for more money now. He shoots down Diamond, and C9's already found both enemy bottom laners. Santorin and Jensen and Rich all having to retreat as Fudge goes in, and he's looking to serve up dessert to Ksante. C9 trying to get this one done nice and clean, and they don't even gotta try very hard. Jensen with another stopwatch, another Zonias, another stasis, trying to keep himself alive here in his own fountain. But if that's your objective in League of Legends, you know the game's gone wrong, and Blaber's gone wild. C9, 25-9, 27 minutes in, start off their summer split 2-0.
Defending champs starting off pretty nicely here in summer.